Dude, I love how our episodes end so abruptly.
Yeah, we're just like, man, on that note, see ya. No, it's true, bro.
And then they begin just as abruptly too, which is so
Yeah.
funny.
Literally half a second after the last episode, we're right on the next one.
Yeah.
No, sometimes episodes just like, there's no like, hey, welcome to the podcast. Today we're talking about, it's literally just like, we start giggling and we start talking. It's just right into it.
We're not corny like that. What you see is what you get with us.
Yep, straight up. No, dude, so I've been... Okay, there are some opinions that I have put out on this podcast that I have changed my position on.
Ooh.
Yeah. I know, dude. I know, it's crazy. So,
I'm excited about this. Yeah.
a few things have happened recently, okay? And I don't need to go into how I came up with this conclusion, but let me just, like, okay, I did some studying from whatever sources, and I did some pondering from some experiences, and then I went and watched the first Top Gun. Okay? Now, have you seen Top Gun, the first one?
I have not seen the original.
Okay.
However, just so you have context, I did see the new one.
You've seen the new one?
Yesterday.
Okay. So I'm seeing it tomorrow. So I won't spoil anything for you. Just, I mean, there's really not much to spoil. I mean, they're pretty simple movies.
I just said I saw the...
You saw the new one. I haven't seen the new one.
Oh, okay.
I watched the old one, like the 80s one, yesterday. So now I'm going to see the new one tomorrow. So the stuff I've been studying and thinking about and pondering has just been like something that I feel like I didn't naturally get growing up. So for me, I've always been very like passive and relaxed and chill and like, hey, if it doesn't like work out, whatever. Right? And if a girl doesn't like me, dude, like whatever. Screw her, like get her out of my life. I don't care. Like this whole mindset, like if a girl's talking to other guys, if there's competition, then whatever, she can go hang out with those other guys. I don't need her. So this whole like really passive, chill outlook, right? And even one of my literal most, like the highlight that got a lot of views, where I'm like, dude, I don't put a ton of effort or money on a first date, okay? I'm like, I don't do that kind of stuff because what if she's lame? What if this and that? Blah blah blah. I will stand by one point of it, is that today's dating is just so weird. It's like a girl can act so different over text and over Instagram and over Snapchat, and then in person you're like, dude, who is this person? So I stand by that. You don't want to commit a bunch, but what I've come to the conclusion of is that real like okay, manly men, right? Dudes that have got their crap together know what they want and they go after it. Right? So I watched Top Gun, and in Top Gun, Tom Cruise, dude, he's just like it's like a manly movie. He knows what he wants. He wants to be the best, and he goes after it. And same thing with the girl, dude. He doesn't like, oh, she's giving me a hard time, dude. If she doesn't like me, like whatever, she can go talk to someone else. He doesn't have some weird like, he wants that girl, and he makes the moves, and he plans and sets it up, and he, you know what I mean? I'm just like, I don't know. I just don't have that naturally. And I'm like, I guess starting to get it because I've realized that that's a thing and wanted to apply it to my life. But like naturally, I've always been very chill about things, and I feel like I gotta not do that. Like if I want something, I'm just gonna put forth effort and go get it, right? So, I mean, I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, or if you like have any perspectives, but I gotta like grow up, grow some balls.
No. Yeah, I remember when that clip did really well. Is that the one where I was like, yeah, man, I don't think I can help you with that? I was like, I think you'll figure that one out.
yeah, one of those. No, yeah. I can't remember your response to it, but like,
I think I was like, yeah, man, that's pretty toxic, but I'm sure you'll figure that out.
There was one.
I think that's what I said. Maybe it's a different one.
No, dude, but people were kind of like, there was a mixture. You'd see dudes that are just like, well, yeah, like you gotta like make sure she's chill. But I don't think like, I mean, there's two words. There's like a low value man and a high value man, and like the way they present themselves and the way they talk, portrays to other people that they're high value or low value. And what I've come to the conclusion of is that like doing really low effort dates that don't cost a lot and that don't take a lot of effort to plan, it's kind of low value. You know, and like I've always been the kind of guy that's like, yo, dude, I don't text a lot. I'll ask on a date, and our date will be like a walk and a drive and like a snack or whatever, like something chill.
Yeah.
That's pretty low effort.
Yeah.
So
and no,
I don't know.
and I get that train of thought, but it's also like you don't want to take her out to like a really nice restaurant and then like, you know, buy her something like on the first date, because that can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
And again, you do have to feel that out. I don't know if, you know, it depends on the girl and if she'd like that or what the circumstances are, or if you just met her, if you guys kind of go back, or so yeah, you got to take a lot of things into consideration.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say that this has always been something that has stood out to me, even though I may not be the best at it. But it's like choose your choices fully. And it's really hard to be in like gray areas.
Yeah.
You know, I think we're safest in black and white, whether you agree with something or you don't. But I think too many people try to like flirt with this line in the middle of making decisions and not.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of like what we said before, like casualty results in casualties. It does.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're not choosing your choices fully, then you shouldn't be making that choice. Like if a girl is debating between me, like let's just fake scenario, never happened, right? But for the sake of my confidence and for the pod, there's a super attractive, nice, funny, good testimony girl, right? Great scenario for me.
Yeah.
We go out on a couple dates, and then on the side, you know, which is totally fine, she's going out with another guy. And then at the time, you know, we've been on a couple dates each. It comes to the point where, okay, well, she needs to pursue one of these guys.
Yeah.
And if she's debating between like me and another guy, like I truly would rather have her just pick the other guy, because I would want her to choose me fully and not have to kind of go back and forth and justify and question. And like, if you aren't sure about something, like, why are you doing it? And yeah, you know, you can make the argument, well, you need to try things out. Well, absolutely. But there comes to a point where if you're not choosing something with 100% and passion and drive, then it's obviously not something you want. So why are you wasting your energy, you know, time and attention on it?
Yeah.
And that can be connected to, you know, relationships, a job, a passion, the pod, like anything in your life. And I think you're really good at choosing your voice. It's so hard to say, choosing your choices fully. You know, usually you don't just do something for the heck of it, but if you start something, you want to like see it through, or if you do something, you want to do it 100%.
Yeah.
But I do agree with you. Dating, it is with girls, man, that, you know, obviously that's something I haven't necessarily been or figured out. I don't know if any guy really ever has.
Yeah. Well, I definitely think that current society is so, because I don't know what's right or wrong necessarily, and I don't even think there is a right or wrong or a bad or good. It's just, you know, one thing is and the other thing is. But I think that society right now is kind of backwards compared to the way it used to be, right? Because we right now act like the way that I've dated in the past is like, I'm going to present myself. Here's me. If you like me, tell me. If you don't, tell me, and we'll move on, right? Simple, transactional. It's like a business deal, right?
Yeah.
Nothing personal. It's just we're seeing if we're compatible. But there's no like romance, and there's no like fire in that, right? And if you look at, and I don't want to compare us to animals, but we basically are just smart animals. It's like if you break us down to the very core of what we are, like we act very similar to the way animals do. And if you look at the way that animals mate, or you know, do their mating calls, or if you look at like a bird being all, you know, fancy, it's like they're competing. You'll have like two males fighting for a woman, and men naturally are competitive. Right, they want the challenge, they want the chase. That's the whole thing, right? And women, they act like they want this, like, oh, don't, like, if you want me, like, don't push too hard, or don't be, you know, too forward or whatever. Like, they want to be asked, and I'm like, that's honestly not true. They say they want that, but I don't think it's true. It's like women want to be pursued, right? They want to feel like you want them, and so and this is something I feel like I'm learning recently, because I'm just like, I've always been like, dude, if she even considers another guy, then she's not picking me 100%. It's like, I do agree with that. I don't want her to pick me 50-50, or like, you know, pick me 70% and then she's still thinking about some other guy. If that's the case, then go be with the other guy, right? Like I want you 100% with me. But what the perspective I've always taken is like, I'm gonna put forth no effort towards making sure you pick me. If you don't pick me, then I'm done. But I'm like, part of me now is like, if she doesn't pick me, then I'm gonna try to convince her or like win the prize of
Yeah.
picking me, and then she'll pick me 100%. And I feel like that is the way it really works, and that's not the way that I've grown up naturally. And some dudes are like good at this. The dudes just like they just get girls.
Sure.
I'm like, I don't know like how they were raised or how their parents are or what kind of caused them to have that naturally, but I'm like, I didn't have it naturally. It's like something I'm having to learn. And I don't want like a bunch of girls. I don't want to be like some like womanizer. But if I I have like pretty high standards for myself when it comes to the girls I want to date, and especially the girl I want to marry. And I'm like, if I'm not being the kind of man that can get a kind of girl like that, then like it's not gonna happen.
Yeah. I think that's very valid, and it's like you're growing up right in front of my eyes, kiddo. You know,
Bro, I'm just trying to be a man.
and that's another great thing about the pod is we can look back on opinions, and we're always evolving, we're always growing.
Yeah.
Even it's kind of crazy with cancel culture. Because you say one thing and then you're held to that for the rest of your life. Like we can't evolve and grow, right?
Yeah. People are.
Not that we've said anything like that, but I think in our own way we can kind of cancel like who we were before and then start anew, which is
It's like any given
without
time, we can be different.
without the derogatory like cancel culture. I mean, like between our personal selves, we can cancel who we were and then make anew and grow. And so yeah, it's good. It's funny to hear you talk about. Not funny. It's refreshing to hear you talk about and hear your new perspectives. And you really are just growing up, and
Thanks,
it really just it really just makes me happy.
Dude, I remember because I think it's pretty. I don't talk about working out a lot on the podcast, but it's pretty evident I like going to the gym. I remember it was probably like 2018, 2019-ish. So just a few years ago, that I had a buddy that was like, dude, you got to go to the gym, man. Like, you got to go, like, be a man, build muscle. And I was like, dude, that's the lamest thing I've ever heard. I'm like, I don't want to go to the gym. I don't need to build muscle. I'm like, nobody cares about that. Girls don't care about that. I'm not going to do that. That was my attitude about going to the gym back then. And it's like, I changed. I learned. And then people that want to do the whole cancel culture thing, or it's like, bro, people change. And the internet wants to, everyone says when you're like doing like content stuff, like pick a niche down, focus on one hobby, focus on one career. But I'm like, dude, we are evolving creatures. Like,
yeah, why put yourself in that cage, bro?
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
It's like we all have multiple interests, multiple hobbies, and they change all the time. It's like, yeah, it's just not and that's the thing. It's like, it's not black or white, but at the same time, it kind of is from what you said. Because it's like, have an opinion and stick to it. But it's like, I've always been the type of guy that's like, if I convince myself otherwise, or if someone else like can present evidence of the contrary when it comes to an opinion of mine, I'm more than willing to switch opinions. It's just that so far in my life, this is what the evidence has shown. It doesn't mean that future me is going to find new evidence and go, well, I think I was wrong. And that's humility.
I think you're on the right track. I really do. I think you're right where you should be. And yeah, because if we're not growing, man, I'm like, what are we doing? What are we talking about? If you don't have people around you that are trying to make you better, and if you aren't noticing that in and of yourself, then you're doing something wrong. So I don't know. I think I think we're doing a good job growing, becoming better, but still massive improvements to be made.
Yeah, dude.
But that one there was a conference talk a couple of years ago, and I remember one of the things he said was, or maybe it was one of the 12 apostles, but he said something like, it was, man, you're gonna have to edit this. I'm trying to remember. It was like, don't be, or celebrate, but don't be complacent. Something along those lines.
Yeah.
Of, notice and acknowledge the things you do well and celebrate those. I think that's a great word. Celebrate how well you do and the things that you're overcoming. But yeah, don't be content with with just that, because your potential is unlimited.
That's true.
Which is facts. So I mean, so with all that said, are you gonna go and get this hypothetical girl, or is this a symbol for something more? I'm just trying to get a feel here.
I think it's just like a symbol for everything in general.
Okay.
Um,
I knew it was. I just,
I mean,
I was
well,
for...
there's always some underlying situation. No, but I think I've taken my whole life like, oh, it should just come to me because of me being myself naturally, just floating through life. It should, with things I want, like I'll set it as a goal and I'll work towards it, and if it happens, then great, and if not, whatever. But I'm like, I had this experience where I was watching a TikTok, and it was this lawyer, and he was talking about not every lawyer should be a trial lawyer, right? Because the whole Amber Heard and Johnny Depp trial. And he's like, because trial lawyers need to understand, and he starts rattling off all these phrases about being a trial lawyer that I've never heard of. And he's like, it takes years of experience. And I was just like, dude, and I had this like epiphany, this realization that I'm like, people that are good at stuff, like, aren't just like it's all talent and they put in some work, a little bit here and there over a long period of time. Like, these people work freaking hard to be the best, to be really good at stuff. And I'm like, and in my life so far, it's all just been whatever I'm naturally good at and whatever I naturally like, I'll just go do, and like I'll try to improve naturally just by doing and thinking about it, but like I don't put a ton of effort forth. And I'm like, and same thing with like making videos. So I like make videos, I make the podcast, I make videos for other people and stuff like that. And I'm like, I just kind of make whatever feels good. I'm really relaxed about it. But I look at people that are making really high-end films or videos, and I'm like, dude, they think about things in a different way, and that comes from studying and a lot of hours of practice, and they put forth a lot of effort. And I'm just like, dang, bro, like, and it's like, it's true. It's like I'm growing up because I'm just realizing this life is not as what I thought it was. And you might be asking, then okay, so what changes are you gonna make? And I'm like, honestly, I don't know. I'm in this like existential crisis right now, dude. I watched Stranger Things.
You did?
Yes, of course.
I didn't know you were into Stranger Things. How do I not know that?
No, I was into. Bro, I watched every season. I'm not the type of guy that's like this. Okay, Stranger Things is a very interesting show when it comes to this kind of things, because
we could talk about that for hours.
We should dedicate the last 15-ish minutes to Stranger Things, because I have some things to say about it.
I'm down for that. Me too.
And the thing is that it does connect to what I was talking about. The whole existential is like, I watch Stranger Things, and dude, I get feelings, and it changes my life. Okay, I feel like Stranger Things brings feelings to me that make me think about life differently. So, but I just wanted to say that Stranger Things is such a weird show, in that every other show that I like, when there's a new season, I'm like pumped for it. I'm like, dude, I can't wait for this new season to come out. Stranger Things is weird. It leaves such a lasting, life-changing feeling for such a short amount of time. I'll watch, like, when I watched Stranger Things season 1, I was like, dude, this show is incredible. Probably one of my favorite shows ever. And like for 3 weeks, I'm feeling that way. Then I kind of just forget about it. Then it's like a year or two later, everyone's freaking out about season 2, and I'm like, I don't know, Stranger Things, like, whatever. People were like, have you watched it yet? And I'm like, no, haven't really got around to it. So then I end up getting around to it like a month after it comes out, and I'm just like, dude, Stranger Things is the best show. And so it happens with season 3 too. And then, season 4 has been out for a few weeks or whatever, maybe 2 weeks. People were like, dude, I'm watching the new Stranger Things. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. And I'm like, and Luke's like, dude, we should start it. I'm like, I don't know, man. I just don't really want to watch TV. And then he's like, well, I watched it. Like, I'm watching it with my girlfriend. I was just like, dude, frick. So like one night this weekend, this weekend, like Saturday night, I was like, well, or no, Friday night. I was like, well, I guess I'll just start it. Got nothing else to do. And of course, I'm just like, dude, this is the best show. I watched 4 hours from like 10 at night to like 2 in the morning. Watched 4 episodes. And then the next morning, I just woke up and kept going. So it was like 7-hour binge watch of season 4 this weekend. And have you
so you finished it?
Yeah, I've finished it, but I can't wait for the second part to come out on July 1st.
Oof, we're a month away, baby.
So let me ask: have you seen season 4?
I started it about a week after it came out. Again, this came out when I was on my mission, Stranger Things, so I never really got the initial excitement. It came out like literally months after I left.
Oh wow!
So I never really got into it, and then it was huge, and then I got back. Everyone was telling me to watch it. Didn't really get into it. season 3 started, I was like, okay, I'll get into it. And then my uncle got me way into it. Season 3 changed my life. Like the Billy
Yeah.
season, bro. I went as Billy's for Halloween.
Oh yeah, dude.
I loved it, and I still love it. I finished season 4 like a couple days ago,
Okay, so we're basically on the same page of time.
and symbolism, metaphor, you know, the meaning and the heart of what each character and what the story represents is not only genius and poetic, but I think you hit it right on the head. It is life changing.
Yeah, dude. It's
And you can take it for what it is, or you can take it for what it's meant to be. And dude, it is actually like, it is poetic.
oh yeah.
The story, and again, this is my favorite. I want to talk about my favorite part, but I want to hear your initial thoughts from season 4, because we ended with the mind flayer, dying,
Mm-hmm.
11 losing your powers, and then everybody kind of moving away and splitting up.
Yeah.
Season 4 starts, and give me your kind of your main thoughts.
Main thoughts. Like I feel like it kind of started slow. Like you want like my general just overview of the show, or do you want like just like some of my favorite parts or favorite story tropes?
Whatever you would be most excited to talk about.
Okay, well, I think the main thing that Stranger Things brings for me is a feeling, which is life changing because I go, okay, you know what? Like I need to do something in my life so that I can feel this in real life, because their experiences, while like really scary, are rich. They're like living life. They're experiencing something rich, and they have these friend groups and these feelings, and like there's like love and passion, all this different stuff. And dude, I think Stranger Things, one of the main things they do well, obviously like the character development and like the way they cast it, but one of the main things they do well, dude, is the music, bro. Like
yeah,
that song, dude.
Point.
Like that song is changing everyone's life right now, dude. Like
right?
the freaking Max's favorite song, dude. I'm like, I still listen to it. Just like I just throw it on and I'm just like, dude, I feel like I can just like look out a window and like have a really intense emotional experience right now because of the song.
Wow.
No, I really like that song though. I'm surprised at how violent this.
Running up that hill.
Yeah, dude, it's amazing, dude. This season was pretty violent though. It was like gruesome. I was like, bro.
I have a weak stomach. I don't like a lot of the things that were shown. I get it. It's part of what he's got to do.
Yeah,
but I could not watch. I just pulled like the.
Really, you pulled that hand cover.
Well, the first one when Chrissy, right, in the first episode, obviously I did not expect that. I was just kind of chilling. I was like, dang, this guy's crazy. And then, at the end, I was like, who the heck, what's his deal?
Yeah,
and then she like goes absolutely stupid crazy, and I was like, okay, that was a bummer.
You're like, I feel gross inside.
And then I was like, holy crap, man, like that was kind of like demonic. Like what could that possibly, what was the purpose, or what meaning could that have to why I could appreciate that without accepting it for just what it is, or what could it mean more?
Yeah.
And I made some ties and I feel good because I know connections that I can make between what's important. But since I know what was gonna happen, when they start floating, I'm like, okay, I know what's gonna happen. Now I'm prepared. So now I
pull the hand.
And it's better for me because I know, and I can hear everything cracking, so it's not like I'm wondering what's happening.
Yeah. No, I think I'm like pretty desensitized. Like when I was a kid or when I was like a younger teenager, I would watch a movie that's like violent or has like ghosts or demonic stuff. If I watched it at night, dude, I was scared. But dude, I just like sat alone in pitch black watching that. And then I'm like, after I'm done, I'm like,
just
close
chilling.
it, go to bed. I'm like, it literally does not even faze me.
What?
I don't know what it is. I think it's just the amount of like video games and movies I've seen. I mean, like I watched all of Vikings, dude, and there's like decapitations and arms getting cut off, and I'm just like, yeah, dude, bodies getting dismembered. I guess that's just part of life.
Yeah,
so
I
now,
had to watch about 15 minutes of Sports Center after that first episode before I could go to bed.
Really? No, yeah, I don't know. I think also part of me is just there's like a pride, a competitiveness with whatever force is out there, whether it be like Satan himself, right, and all of his demons, or just ghosts, or because there are things out there that are really dark that want to hurt people. I
Very
truly
real.
believe. I don't like. I'm not the type of person that's like, oh, I believe that ghosts are in this house, but like ghosts could be in this house if invited. So I do believe
Yeah.
in like demons and
Yeah.
ghosts, and I believe in all that stuff. So I'm like, but I'm like, if I give in to this feeling of fear, like if I stand up and I'm like, holy crap, I'm kind of scared, and if I allow myself to feed into that, I'm like, that I feel like the whole like they smell fear or like they feed on fear. It's like so cliche to say in like the movies, but I'm like, I think it's true. So if I stand up and I allow myself to be fearful, then obviously I've like lost faith in like who I am, like priesthood holder and like God and protection
Absolutely.
and righteousness and light. So I'm like, when I'm done with the show, I almost have like a competition with whatever force would want to hurt me and scare me. I'm just like, bro, you're not gonna
Wow.
make me afraid. So I just like
Dang, good
turn
for
off the
you,
lights
bro.
and go to bed and wake up and I'm like, life's good. And then yeah, so I don't know. It's a
No,
weird
I
thing I
like
have.
that thought because the only things that can hurt you are the things that you allow to.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how true that is because I've definitely.
There's definitely been some things that hurt me that I was not allowing them to.
Yeah, but okay. Tell me, like, what was, I guess, what's your main takeaway, or what was your favorite message, or your favorite part, or like what? When I say Stranger Things season 4, kind of what comes to mind? Give me one of those.
Dang, bro.
I know, and
Without
that's an unfair question because there's so much that
there's
goes
so
into
much.
it.
I'll just kind of give you some general thoughts from the show and from
Okay.
the season. And I don't want to give spoilers, but like this definitely,
I mean, dude, it's been out like weeks. Like
yeah, if people haven't watched it, like it's on them. Like if you don't want
we're
spoilers,
putting a spoiler warning out. But
yeah, like if you don't want to hear it, then pause it. But okay.
You remember when Endgame was out like 4 months and people were like, "Don't spoil it."
Yeah, you're like, bro, go see it.
I was like, dude, shut up.
Yeah, dude. No, so for this one, like, main thing for me is it opened up. Okay, so every show that's like really kind of fantasy based, I kind of watch and like there's so many questions. For some reason, Stranger Things, like this whole time, I haven't really had many questions. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, there's like a lab, and there's like a portal.
Makes sense.
Makes sense. I'm down, right?
Yeah.
But now, like with the connection at the end,
Bro.
right, of one being Vecna, and I'm just like, okay. I'm like now, dude. I'm like, I have so many more questions. I'm like, okay, let's back up. Where the heck? Why the heck did Hawkins' lab start in the first place? Where is this old guy getting these kids? Why is he getting these kids? What's his goal? Why is the upside down a thing? Like, you know what I mean? Now the whole universe is opening up to me because like before I was just like, oh yeah, it's just this like really focused story about this town, and that's fine. And I don't need to know the outside world. But now that there's like this like original one, I'm like, well, where did he come from? Right? And why, when sent to the upside down, does he turn into this like demon person? And like, who turned him into a demon person? Right? What is the ultimate evil power? Is it just like Satan, and they're just kind of gonna infer that? I'm like, so for me, I'm like, it opened up a lot of questions, but also, it's funny because my two least favorite characters, and this is going to be controversial, my two least favorite characters are Sinclair. I don't know his first name.
Oh, Caleb, isn't it?
I don't know. The kid that plays the black kid that's friends with
Lucas.
Yes, Lucas and Max, dude. I think they're really annoying. No.
I don't like Max either.
No, yeah. See, in all first 3 seasons, Lucas is like always really pessimistic and yelling. He's like, "That's not right. Like, we're not supposed to be here. Like, let's go." And I'm like, "Dude needs to chill." And then Max always has a bad attitude. Now, I will say that this season made me like probably both of them, but mostly Max more because like it was really focused on her. And I really liked Billy and her's relationship. And Max kind of looks like my little sister. So like when she's going through stuff, I'm like, bro, it's like personal.
Wow.
Yeah, like she gives me the same vibes as Caprice. So,
yeah, I see that.
So I kind of grew closer to those characters. But in general, dude, like it was a good season. And yeah, every time I watch a movie about love stories in the 80s, which this has some love in the 80s, I'm just like, dang, bro. I want some romance in my life.
Classic.
There wasn't,
and that's interesting because season 4 really wasn't focused on, because Joyce and Hopper were apart, Nancy and Jonathan were apart. I mean,
I
don't know. Steve and her kind of have a little tension, but it was interesting because there wasn't as much romance. And then Sinclair and Max are apart.
Everyone's apart, and I'm
11
still
and Mike is apart. Isn't that kind of interesting dynamic? How
Yeah,
They
everyone split
split
up.
everybody up, and I like that. I thought it was actually really, really
Dude,
unique.
I totally forgot about Hopper, dude. Hopper is a beast. The crap
Oh,
he
he's
went
OP.
through.
He's OD, bro.
Like I'm like, I look up to that guy. I'm just like, dude, the crap he went through for all this and how he pulled it off, and just, oh man, it's so sick.
I
So,
agree, dude.
yeah. What about you?
Wow. It's so, I don't know. Yeah, I'm with you. I think it does stick with me for a couple different reasons, and I'll try to keep it as few words as possible because I really, really appreciate what Stranger Things does because they appreciate and love their story enough to write it in advance. That's why I love How I Met Your Mother so much. Even though I didn't appreciate necessarily the contents of the finale, I appreciated the finale because they wrote it from the very beginning.
Yeah.
They filmed it from the very beginning. There are scenes that they saved from the pilot to the finale over 10 years, which is mind blowing. Why I love Stranger Things is and again, so many parallels to the Lord and like his plan for us, but he wrote it, or Stranger Things is written with the end in mind. Not even in mind, the end as like the focal point,
Oh, really?
which
Really?
is
I didn't know that.
amazing. Yeah. So, okay. So I saw a couple things. Like I saw a couple videos and I made connections along the way because I'm a pretty intent watcher. It really bugs me when I'm with people and they're kind of on their phone or they're not really paying attention.
No, 100%.
Really, whatever it is, I am dialed in. I just am. And
Yeah.
so, and my brain like made a couple connections. So like Billy, when he first sees the mind flayer, it wasn't the mind flayer. It was definitely Vecna. I went back and watched like that part. It's like his silhouette. I don't know why no one questioned that before. It just was.
Yeah, wow.
When he goes in the upside down, the first time you hear like the clock ring or like the bell ding from the grandfather clock.
Wow.
It's all been connected the whole time.
Dude.
When Will first sees like in again the first episode, he sees Vecna the very very first time. It's not a Demogorgon. It is Vecna. Like you pause it, it's the same silhouette as what Bill. Like it is nuts. And then
Dang, bro.
having 11 in the Hawkins lab the second time around, it's really the first, which is kind of trippy. When she like makes the portal, like that's all connected back to when she was there like the first time with obviously Dr. Brenner and all the other kids' numbers. Like it is, I just appreciate it so much that they cared enough about what they were doing to not cheapen the experience to write it along the way. Because if you write things along the way, I don't know. So I just like have like a trust and like a loyalty to that story because of how much care and time and effort that they put into every detail.
Yeah.
To where going especially here on out, I know they're not just like making stuff up. Like they have a very direct, specific way that they're going to end it with the last season, supposedly, right? Season 5. And I don't know. As a viewer, I just appreciate and love the story 10 times more than any other story because of that reason. And This Is Us, which is, I don't know if you've heard of This Is Us. It's my family's been telling me to get into it forever. I just started it because I finished Stranger Things. And dude, it's the same thing. Like I've seen episodes here and there that my family have watched, and they do the same thing. They film it with the very, very end in mind.
So like,
and that just has
throughout
the whole time,
dude.
And that just
so
has like
nice.
so much power, man. I can't really explain it, but there's just so much power within that story because it's all meant to be a specific way, and they're not just making stuff up. And again, that means everything matters. Everything matters. Well, absolutely everything. And you like can't say that about a lot of things. Yeah. Absolutely. I have a couple plot hole issues, like a couple questions, but again, I don't really question them. I more question my questions because I know they have an answer.
Yeah.
Which again has a lot of power in it too. But I don't really think it's worth it to get into those things. But there are a couple like main messages and metaphors that I think are really good. But I'll let you kind of. I feel like you've got something, I can kind of come back to what I feel too.
I was gonna say, is this? They're gonna have a season 4 part 2 in July. Is that the last season?
So I think they've got one more. I think they've got a season 5 to kind of wrap everything up.
Really?
That's what's reported. I don't know if it's legit, but I would be surprised if they ended it with volume 2 that comes out in a month.
Okay, that's good because I'm like, They could definitely like tie up everything in one
Yeah.
season, but I'm like, I feel like it might be rushed. So I'm hoping that like we get another, next year we get a season 5. But
Yeah, I agree.
so that's my only question.
Okay. Did here before I say this, did you have a favorite scene, or like like what did you take away from season 4, or what was your favorite part?
Favorite part? I don't think I have a favorite part. I mean, if I was to make a favorite part, it'd be like 11 casting out 1. It'd be Max getting rescued, right, when she's in like his mind or whatever.
That was dope. Yeah.
Yeah, and it would be when Hopper finally hugs Joyce, like all the big climax moments. I'm like, those would be my favorite parts because you're just like waiting for that to happen.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. I was gonna. I want to find the dialogue real quick, if that's okay.
Sure.
Did you watch the whole thing with Luke and his girl, or were you just watching it alone?
No, I watched basically everything alone. First 4 or 5 episodes alone, and then Luke joined me for the last couple because he had already finished it and he wanted to watch it with me. But yeah, it was kind of like a solo experience, basically.
Would you rather watch it with someone or by yourself?
I think I'd always rather watch shows with someone, as long as they're good at watching shows. Like, I don't like when people are like, I think this is going to happen. Oh, this one's going to happen. Or they're like, wait, what's going on? Like, what's going on? Or they're on their phone. Like, just like, be quiet, watch the whole thing, leave the questions till after. You know what I mean? Like, be into it and be attentive and observant enough to like understand the connections. Because when I'm watching it, I'm like, silently in my head, I'm just like, dang, dude, I just see that connection. Like, I get stuff. And so whoever I watch it with, like, yeah, it'd be cool to have a girlfriend to like cuddle with while I watch it. But like, I'm not here to like cuddle and and chill and Netflix and chill, as I say. I'm Netflixing, okay?
Yeah, I'm here to really get into the story.
Yeah.
And understand it.
Yeah. So.
Okay, well, unless I were to go on Netflix and find the subtitles, it's probably not worth it. But I think what I really loved about Stranger Things season 4 was Vecna. Not necessarily his character, because obviously he's demonic and crazy, and he has terrible motives, and he's done terrible things that who knows what else. But I did appreciate the metaphor of how he haunts people with their past trauma.
Yeah.
And if you notice, the only reason why he's able to take specific victims is because they haven't made peace, or they haven't found peace, or they haven't repented, or they haven't done what they should have done.
Yeah.
Not even in the moment, but afterwards, to receive any sort of closure. Yeah. I mean, and if you're a part of some of the things they were, I don't know how you get to that point. I mean, obviously through the Savior, but like, that's tough, man. That's tough. And
that's deep stuff.
I just love the parallel by, most villains just like a Demogorgon just comes after people with, fierceness and physicality, and just ripping head off for really, no one really knows why. They just do, right?
Yeah.
Like in the Russian scene, you let a Demogorgon loose, what's he going to do? I guess he's going to kill everyone, for no one knows why. He's just going to.
Yeah.
But Vecna is a great villain because he has a motive that no one really expects, and it's almost harder to counter because he's like in your brain.
Yeah.
And I liked his whole, like, how he got his villains. I thought it was really cool.
Maybe that's why, because you know how after Max gets rescued, they put the headphones on just in case he comes after her again, but he never does. And I'm like, maybe it's because she did make peace. She had the experience with Billy. She sent all the letters out. You know what I mean? Like, she had made peace with herself, and who knows? Maybe it's just one of those things that if you don't get captured when he's there, then you're good. Kind of like the father.
Yeah.
The father of Vecna. But I'm like, maybe once you make peace, he can't really get you anymore. I was gonna mention something, but I forgot.
Okay. But yeah, I thought it was an interesting and a really interesting approach to a villain, and terrible guy, but it was unique.
Yeah,
And
it's really cool.
I like how it's just a metaphor for, dude, like we have to make peace. The trauma that's within us haunts us until we don't let it anymore, and we have to do specific things to get over it and to make amends and to be free from that. But if we don't, it will literally eat us alive, which is interesting because they're unalived. It comes from within, not an outside source. And so this whole thing with like sin and repentance, and we have to fight our own demons, and you can take past trauma, or you could just take like habits or sin or anything that you're dealing with. Like there's all these connections that you can make, and it goes way past Vecna. Like it goes past, like it goes through to Satan and Heavenly Father, and like who do you choose and who do you let win? And like there's this an eternal battle, and maybe I don't know, maybe the metaphor for music is repentance, and like how do you get through that? And I don't know. So from a gospel standpoint, at the end I was like, that's actually a really, really cool connection.
Yeah.
For trauma, sin, whatever you want to call it.
Well, then
I can get past.
Go ahead. Please.
I was saying I can get past like, the demonic stuff and the unaliving, because there is a greater message to it. It's not like he's doing it for no sole purpose or reason. I mean, whether it is for a reason or not, it's wrong. But I appreciate really the message, like what it really means.
Yeah.
At least to me, you got to kind of see through some of that.
No, it's true. That's why I feel like, how I explained, like I'm desensitized to these, images of people getting murdered. I think it's partly I'm desensitized, but partly also it's like when I just see things for kind of, surface value, what they are, right? I look at it and I go, okay, like these things are dying, but that's not what I'm here to pay attention to. Like the people are, getting whatever. That's not what I'm here to pay attention to. I'm like looking for the deeper meaning, and I don't really get like emotionally worked over with that kind of stuff, because I know there's like, this is just a representation of something more important.
For sure.
Like what you're talking about. But I will say, dude, that brings up more questions now, because I'm like, okay, well then, because you talked about the Demogorgon and how it just goes and like wipes everyone out for no reason.
Yeah.
And Vecna's got like this like deeper motive or something, And I'm like, then how are they connected? Right? And like the Mind Flayer, like I want to know how all that's connected. What is the Demogorgon to Vecna, and what is Vecna to the Mind Flayer? And is Vecna the king of everything? Was the Upside Down created by 11? When, what I mean? Like how is that all going to work out? I'm excited to know, because there's a lot of questions there.
And I do find comfort, because I don't feel like there's going to be many things that aren't explained, just because of, again, the care in the writing.
Yeah.
But there are plot holes. Again, it's probably not worth it to go into it, because there are like 4 or 5 that I have issues with.
Really?
Not necessarily because they won't be answered, but just because they flat out just don't really make sense to me.
Okay, please even if bring up like the top 2 or something, because I'd like to either say, well, this is what I thought, or be like, oh no, now I have that plot hole in my mind.
Okay, sure. So 11, is obviously gifted. From this point in the movie, or in the story, she has never created a portal. She hasn't opened the Demogorgon portal yet, from my understanding, when she kills or sends one into the abyss or whatever. And I thought that was a sweet sequence, by the way, when she turns, and the whole time you think that she killed everyone and she didn't end up. I thought that was because I was like, the whole time she couldn't have done that. Like surely she wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, I was
right?
like, damn, dude, she killed everyone.
I thought the twist with Vecna was so sick. I didn't expect that. Didn't know. Was
so
stoked about it.
When did you realize one was Vecna?
When he started going into his speech. Really? I was way late on that. Yeah, dude. I didn't. Were you early?
I wasn't super early, because, well, I made a connection and then I realized later on. But I was like, I made a connection right off the bat. When you first see the memories of Brenner and like her killing everyone, or as you thought it was 11 killing everyone, I was like, dude, all the kids got broken fingers and broken limbs and busted eyes, just like the way Vecna does it. I'm like, that's weird. And then when he started like throwing, remember when he's like, you don't have to be scared anymore, and he has the thing taken out and he starts killing people, I was like, he starts running around, and I was like, oh, no way. I was like, he killed all the kids, not her. So I connected it then. And then I'm like,
oh, yeah, right. Yeah.
And then I was like, but still, it's weird how like the bones are broken the same way. I'm like, I was like, Oh, I know. And then at that point, I just knew. So then, the whole entire show, I was like, "There's something weird with this Vecna guy. They're not like, he's too specific looking. Like he's got too much of a look. Like usually monsters are just kind of like random monsters,
True.
right?" And I was like,
True.
they keep showing his eyes, and I'm like, and I feel like I recognize those eyes. So as soon as he became Vecna, I was like, when he was like, his hair was kind of slicked back and he was like freaking out before he got sent, I was like, I
Mhm.
see it in his eyes, dude. That's the guy. So yeah, so I was like early, but not like super early.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I was probably close, but
Mm.
definitely later, which I liked. I didn't want to know, and obviously there was really no way of knowing.
Oh yeah.
It was it was great, and I've never seen a show that consistent through 1 to 4. I don't know if there's a bad episode, dude.
No, dude.
I mean,
There's like no
maybe there's like
filler. It's like,
maybe when 11 like goes to like see your sister is also a number. You know, I
oh
remember her who can do the mind stuff,
yeah, I don't.
which apparently she must have gotten out of that when everyone died in the lab because she must have been there.
Yeah, what is
See,
that?
that's
See, is
that's
that a
one
plot
problem
twist
I
or a
have.
plot hole?
I
Yeah.
hope I hope she comes back, or because she's just been chilling for years apparently. But sorry, the main one that I have, I went off topic,
Mm.
is when she kills one. You know, she's done basically. She doesn't know the extent of her powers, but instead of killing him, she sends him through a portal, and she seems fine with that. So did she already know she can make portals? She hadn't before, so I'm gonna guess not. And then she closes it, and then but she sends him through without knowing what she was doing. But it seemed like she knew exactly what she was doing. And why was that the only person in her entire history that she's sent through a portal, but nobody else? She's just like killed other people.
Yeah.
That just made no sense to me. Zero.
Well, it makes sense. This my only like explanation for it is because that's her all reliving memories, right? Because she's in the Nina project, reliving all the
Yeah.
memories. So like the older version of her didn't do that. It's the younger version that actually sent him into the portal.
Yeah.
Like a long time ago,
Right.
right? And so I think the only way, and then anytime she opens or closes the portal, it's always her at like her max ability, like right when she has the most emotional like contention or strife. Remember when she
Mhm.
kills the Demigorgon? Like she's freaking out, protecting Mike and her friends and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, so she's like at her max, and she opens the portal and sends it back or whatever. And so I'm like, I guess in that moment, like she just put her max power into it and like sent him into the portal, and like, but remember, like she forgot all that stuff. That's why she had to relive
Yeah.
it in the Nina project. So like, I don't
Right.
know. I wouldn't say it's like for me, it's like a plot hole, but I'm definitely like, I don't know. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that one's not a plot hole, but it definitely
You don't
doesn't
think it
make
lined
sense to
up
me.
as clean as you'd want?
And then how did one get his powers? He does not explain that. I hope he does in the next one,
Yeah.
but it kind of defeats the whole purpose of everybody else having their powers because they had to like go through something to get them.
Yeah.
But for some reason, he's just born with them.
Yeah, like when he says like, and then I realized I could create my own reality, and he's like starts controlling the clock. I'm like, so you just like decided one day to like have superpowers? Like that's weird.
And then why is 11 stronger than you then?
Yeah.
If hers was made and yours you were born with.
And then yeah, where does Eleven's powers come from? And like how is she so powerful? And why is it a little girl? Is that like symbolic of something?
And again, I'm sure these will be answered. That's why I'm not like super worried about it. But yeah, and then there's just like, there's just some other ones that.
Please, one more, and then we'll finish up.
Okay, so what are we at? How many minutes are we at?
48.
Okay. Oh wow, really?
Yeah, like we've been going for a minute.
Yeah, I wrote 2 of them down. I mean, okay, I'll just present a question to you. This isn't the one I want to talk about, but why is the upside down red when Vecna's in it, but like blue and green when anybody else is in it?
True. That's that's definitely something that I think is going to be answered because remember in the beginning when they're talking to Eddie and they're like, "Did you see any like floating like mist or like do you see any like particles? Do you see any like green?" And he's just like, "No, I didn't see anything." And it's like, okay, so this isn't like the Upside Down. This is like it is the Upside Down, but it's like not. Like I don't know what it is. Like when Vecna does stuff, because it's almost different.
Right. Okay. Shoot. What was the other one I was going to talk about?
Are you good?
Hang on. Let me see. Let me find it. Dude, that camera's going crazy.
So high quality.
What? Okay, no, actually, that kind of makes sense. Okay, no.
Did you have one that kind of got sealed up in your mind just now or something?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it for now.
Yeah, but good show though. Definitely some questions that need to be answered. But I would love to go and rewatch the whole thing again.
Yeah, like from season 1.
Yeah, and just kind of like be like, yo, what the heck, dude? That's definitely like a connection I did not realize.
True.
I'm gonna have to do that like after the whole thing though. So I make sure.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, if I do it now and then I go watch season 4 part 2 and season 5 1, 5 2.
Yeah, and then wait like a year for season 5. It's like probably not worth it.
Yeah, I'll just do it at the very, very end where I'm just like, okay, now
see it all the way through.
Yeah, because like, what did the Russians have to do with it? Are they just trying to steal energy? Something like, what's going on?
And okay, screw it. I'm gonna say it, even though I still don't agree with it, bro. Hopper should have died. When you see Joyce at the control panel and Hopper's standing on the catwalk thing, dude, it still, even when they flashed it back, made no sense. He is so far away from that thing, and she puts her head down, and within seconds she turns it. And I'm supposed to believe that through this whole time, when everything is going absolutely crazy, he runs through the catwalk and hops through the portal. When they were like on completely separate platforms, and he was so far away from the opening of the portal.
Well, he doesn't jump into the portal.
Disintegrated. Wait, what do you mean he doesn't jump into the portal?
He just like jumps away, and then like doesn't like it explodes, but he's too far away to die from the explosion. That's why he's just on the floor. And then remember, he crawls up and he's still in the lab, and the Russians have showed up or something. Or no, is he like, did he go through the portal and he's on the other side where like the Russians are or something? I don't get that. Why would the Russians be there?
Yeah, I thought he jumped through the portal.
No, I thought that he just like jumped away. The explosion goes, he gets like hit in the back a little bit, but not enough to kill him. He lands down below, and then he's like knocked cold, and then everyone leaves. Joyce leaves, and then he wakes up like maybe like a day later or something. He's in a coma or some crap like that. He like climbs up the ladder, and the Russians are there to collect all their crap after they realize it's been exploded, and they're like, "Where do you think you're going?" And they grab him. That's what I thought happened. Was just like basically he's now too far away for the explosion to kill him.
I guess that would make sense, but everything was like got disintegrated. Like how? I don't know.
No, I don't know. I will say though that like when he dies, you're like, and then like when you like watch season 4 trailer, and it's like him in the snow, and he like looks up. I was like,
yeah,
yo.
Yeah, that was hype, dude. Yeah, that was actually way hype.
So I mean, I'm maybe it doesn't make sense, but I'm glad he's alive. But he's been through a crap ton of crap.
No, very well said. Are you still recording?
Yeah.
Okay, I got to talk about some stuff, so I'll see you guys. Bye.
Okay, bye. Bye, Uppies. Love you.